Hello, I'm Damien Barrett. Welcome to Access All Areas, brought to you by OPSM. Finals footy has officially arrived, and Lee Matthews, we're now just a few hours away from the Hawks and the Pies kicking it off tonight.
Well, I think that's the big one too. The winner of that goes to preliminary final, the home preliminary final. I think the winner of tonight's game virtually becomes the premiership favourite because of the home state advantage. I mean, we know that there's a game tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon in Adelaide between Adelaide and Sydney, but I think the winner tonight goes to the box seat.
Let's go back to round 17 when the teams last played. It was an easy win to Hawthorn and it came without Hodge and Franklin. Take us through what happened on that occasion, Lee.
This was the best performance I've seen from any team in any game this year that I've watched live. I mean, I think Hawthorn won by 47 points. I thought Hawthorn were outstanding. Their ball skills, their ability to win the footy, that's the starting point. But once they got the footy, Collingwood just couldn't get it back off them because Hawthorn were just too good, too skilled, too quick. So, I mean, clearly Collingwood's tackling pressure has to be up at its maximum levels because Hawthorn, when they get a bit of time and space, they just destroy you with their ball skills. And this afternoon, have a look how quick this was. Like, it's quick handball, another quick handball. Look at this from Mitchell. I mean, Collingwood just couldn't get the ball back off them. So winning the stoppages and the clearances and getting first hands on the foot has got to be the starting point to beating the Hawks.
We could see that it was almost perfect conditions, if there are such things in footy. That's not going to be the case tonight. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be very windy. Who does that suit?
Collingwood, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon if it's a bun fight game because the conditions become really difficult, I think that suits Collingwood more than Hawthorn. Sure.
The other qualifying final, Adelaide and Sydney. Lee, there's real issues with the Swans goalkeeping. Despite finishing third, there's issues. Sam Reid's back in the team, but have they got enough gun power up there to match the Crows? Well,
particularly when Lewis Jetta, who's been their sort of their running ball carrier, he's not getting the ball much. He's getting tagged out of the game just lately. So all of a sudden, unless Adam Goodes has an outstanding day, then Sam Reid has to be good. I saw the game when the Swans played Geelong last week, and their forward line just got totally dominated by Geelong. So they've got to improve in that area.
The other problem from the Swans is Grundy's problem he had with the match review panel out for the week, which leaves these two guys we're about to see now, Tex Walker, who's really emerging as a big name player, and Kurt Tippett. Are they going to be able to be stopped, Lee, tonight?
Well, if they mark the ball well, obviously they're a bit... Lewis Roberts-Thompson has played big defence fairly well over his career. I think so. I think he can do one job, and obviously Ted Richards has been in the All-Australian squad. So I think you've certainly got Roberts-Thompson to try and take the height, the extreme height in Tippett, and of course Richards probably on Walker, who's just been a bit of a revelation this year, hasn't he? But Adelaide have got other scoring power around their medium sizes, Pleach, little guys like that. So they're a very good team, and gee, they're hard to beat at AAMI Stadium.
So do you expect them to win and go through to a prelim at AAMI?
I do, but I mean, I'd say the same if it was in Sydney. I think the home state advantage in the first few weeks of the final is gigantic. When everyone's a bit more nervous and there's a bit of tension, a bit of pressure, the comfort of the home environment is really valuable.
Yeah. Let's get on to the elimination finals. Geelong and Fremantle we'll start with. There was a heap of spite in round one when these two teams met, Lee. Does it mean anything when we see this now? Scarlett lost his cool, got Ballantyne. That's a natural occurrence most days. But here's Ballantyne here on Chapman, and we'll see the aftermath of that hit here. There were match review panel ramifications.
And Ballantyne got a couple of weeks. I don't know why everyone was wondering why Steve Johnson got his penalty for actually the behind-the-scene heavy block on Hanbury.
And Chris Scott here at half-time, again, he was an assistant coach at that club for a while, and they've got a good friendship, actually. But, I mean, you know the Scots. Are there two more fiery people still going around in footy now they're not playing?
You really got to be careful as a coach not to have any conversations with opposition players. I mean, that was a fairly friendly one by the look of it. Of course, Brad actually might have been so friendly when he was having a go at James McDonald from a long way away, just for that heavy knock off the ball. So,
of all the players you coached, were they the two with the fire in the eyes?
They got plenty of white line fever on match day. Chris even more so than Brad as a player, as a non-field performer.
Could Fremantle cause an upset there?
Well, I always think I always admire Ross Lyon's ability to set up a game and have a surprise, or what you'd call a surprise win. So I think Fremantle is still a really dangerous opponent for Geelong tomorrow night.
Lee, this was a 23-week saga that was ended during the week. Travis Boak has recommitted to the Port Adelaide club at good money, $1.3 million or thereabouts for 2 years. It's good money. It's money greater than he would have got with the options he had to come back to Victoria at Geelong.
Good money. It's outstanding money. I mean,
is it wasted money on him?
He's getting about a 50% premium to stay. Like the All-Australian squad was picked this week. 40 players in the All-Australian squad. Travis Boak wouldn't even have been considered for that 40 players. And he's probably gone into the, I don't know, certainly the top 40 players, paid players in the game. So
question without notice.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, question without notice. 40 squad All-Australian this week, as you say. Where would he be? Would he be 70 or 80 as far back as there?
Well, I don't know whether he'd be in the next dozen. He might be in the next 40, but he's certainly not in the 40 that are the cream of the competition. And 650, 700,000. I mean, that's the cream of the competition. That's what they get.
Yeah. So there's no bang for your buck with Travis Boak?
No, I don't think so. As I say, premium to stay. Mostly you get a premium to leave because to recruit to leave, you have to get a premium. And this is interesting, again. We have a look at the 40 players. These are really highly paid players. I mean, obviously the bottom three are in the expansion clubs, but it also tells you the danger of long-term contracts from a club's point of view. Because by the time they're getting towards the end of that third, fourth, fifth year, they might not be worth the money they were when the contract was signed. Yeah,
well, Judd's about to go into a sixth year, and he heads the list there of not making the top 40. Brown's still on a long-term deal, and the two expansion players, Carmichael Hunt and Izzy Flower, are pulling more money than any other player.
Well, we knew. I mean, Callum Ward, obviously, and Tom Scully was on there. Well, that was almost 100%, the double to get them out of their existing club. You knew the expansion clubs had to do that. But the bang for the buck, maybe the All-Australian squad, was an interesting message for some players.
West Coast and North Melbourne in Perth on Sunday, Lee. There's some really, really big boys on this field.
Yeah, they are. The Eagles, of course, have... they've got the two big ruckmen. I mean, because...
Because one of those ruckmen will be in the forward line alongside Darling and Kennedy at every stage of the game.
They could. I mean, often they'll actually ruck Cox and Naitanui at the same time, basically, or in the same midfield. But they're the only team, really, that's got a 200-centimetre ruckman who is really dangerous in the forward line as well. But then you've got Darling as a runner.
Them, Lee? I mean, Grimer's back in the team. Thompson's had a very, very good year. Arguably should have been in the 40 All-Australian. And Ferrito plays taller than he is at times. Can they cover him?
Well, Josh Kennedy worries me a little bit. I mean, players who've had long-term injuries and they come back late in the year, they have okay for a game or two, and then they tail off because they don't recover from games nearly as well. But they've certainly got the height. But the height they had most of that height last week against. In the game against Hawthorn, but they didn't mark the ball. So if you don't mark the ball, Darling was the only one who got it last week.
They've been pretty rampant all year, haven't they, Cox and Naitanui? Yet the good teams, and we'll show you some footage here from last Friday when Hawthorn played them. There's a tactic they employed here, Lee. Just take us through what they did to negate, particularly Naitanui.
Well, you're trying to stop Naitanui from just jumping. I mean, he's still outreaching his opponent and getting his hand to the ball, but if he jumps and gets that half an arm above his opponent.
So it's an early jump.
To me, this is really on the fringe of being illegal. The rule across the line was to make sure...
This is Jolly in round 13, Lee, similar.
Same principle. Come across the line, try and establish body contact or jump early so that Naitanui can't jump over the top of you. Now, I'll be really interested to see how how the umpires adjudicate these first few centre bounces on Sunday, because if you let Naitanui jump, he jumps all over you. But the rules at the centre bounces particularly are that you've got to be able to have access to jump at the footy. That's what the centre square line was all about.
Okay. So if you were John Worsfold, would you have been ringing Jeff Geeshan throughout the week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just to clarify, what can they do? And at least put it in the umpire's mind to make sure they're not actually blocking and denying access to the ball, because then that becomes illegal and is a free kick.
So not quite illegal, but borderline.
Well, I'm not sure. The Hale roughhead, what Hawthorn did last was bordering on illegal, I reckon, because they were still coming over the line and impeding his run and jump at the footy.
Lee, to the OPSM Fan Face-Off competition, and for your chance to win tickets to the grand final, you have just one more week to enter. Here are the details.
OPSM is giving you and a friend the chance to win the ultimate 2012 Toyota AFL Grand Final experience with the OPSM Fan Face-Off. Download the OPSM app and share your fan face to win.
And time now for the result of our OPSM poll from Monday's show, where we asked, should the AFL put a freeze on any rule changes for next year? Well, we had the most one-sided result for the year. A whopping 84% said yes, leave the rules alone. And that just meant 16% said let's have some changes. Lee, you're on the Rules Committee. Are you going to be listening to our people here?
Oh, they do. The research from the fans is partly what... but the fans sort of want a lot. They want the game to be free-flowing, but they don't want to change anything rules that temper coaching
Don't give him lip
tactics.
service, Lee. You've got to listen to them.
No, listen to the fact. But you take that a step further, there'll never be another rule change ever.
They might want it next year.
You reckon next year they might...
Yeah.
No, I reckon fans will vote that way from now till eternity, Damien.
I reckon you should listen to him, Lee. Don't give him lip service. Hey, thanks again, Lee. Good weekend of matches coming up.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
And Luke Darcy will be back with me on the Monday edition of Access All Areas to chat about that huge weekend of the finals. It promises to be a cracker. Thanks for joining us now. Goodbye.